Spotlight on Frazee is sponsored by these community-minded businesses and organizations. United Community Bank, an independent family-owned and operated bank committed to empowering customers to achieve their financial goals. Member FDIC. Frazee Family Foods, what a hometown grocery store should be. Friendly staff, family-owned, and a wide variety of groceries to fulfill your needs.
Welcome to Spotlight on Frazee. I'm your host, Hank Ledke. I'm here at the Frazee High School Community Ed office with Nate Woodard.
How you doing?
Tremendous. And so, Nate, tell me a little bit about what you do with Community Ed and what's happening this fall.
So I'm a financial advisor with Thrive Financial, and a couple of years ago, I started teaching classes for Community Ed, free classes for the community. So I teach classes for Frazee, Perm, and Monaga, and we cover a wide range of subjects, anything from economic updates to long-term care planning, to keeping assets in the family, and kind of basically anything that the community is wondering about. We're willing to put on some free classes for them to get some good education.
Well, and at my age now that I finally turned 70, I think about, what's going to happen, with the financial end in relation to what I have, another 10 or 15 years down the road when I have issues. Yeah,
and that's a question that we run into a lot is, people have worked all these years to gather assets, to buy property, farms, whatever it happens to be. And a big fear is, okay, if myself or my spouse or the both of us go into a long-term care facility, are we going to lose all of these things that we've worked so hard for all these years to pay for our care? Well, you can take some steps now to protect those assets, whether it's through long-term care coverage or other planning pieces that you can do at that time, so that if you have that beloved piece of property that you want to keep in your family, you can do some steps now to make sure that stays as a legacy in your family.
Well, and so now you're going to be doing these with Community Ed, and so these will be evening classes?
Yep, they'll be evening classes, and you can contact the Community Ed office here, and they can give you times of the classes, and we're going to be doing classes through the end of the year and after the first of the year into spring as well.
And I know also, we talk, it seems like every time we get a tweet, the stock market moves.
Yeah. Yep. That is probably the number one question that I get when I'm out in public and talking with people is, where should I have my money at right now? Is there going to be a big market correction? Things like that. And we offer what's called an economic update, and we can give what our perspective is, what we're seeing over the next 12 to 24 months, and where we would recommend you do some different things. And we keep it pretty general, but we can give you some good information, so it gives you some peace of mind as far as what you should be doing with some of your different planning pieces.
Well, and I know Thrive over the years, has been a very reliable organization. Our family has been members of it, I think, since I was a child.
Yep. Yeah. So, to give a little background on Thrive's been around for over 100 years. Many years ago, it was Aid Association of Lutherans and Lutheran Brotherhood, and those two companies merged, and they created what's called Thrive Financial for Lutherans. And then a few years ago, they dropped the for Lutherans part, and so they're a faith-based company, but a not-for-profit company. But one of their big missions is to get free, good information out and education out to the public, and just so that you can be wise with money and do the things for your family that you want to do.
Well, I appreciate you being on the program, Nate, and I look forward to the classes that you'll be putting on. And so if you need to get a hold of Community Ed, you call the Frazee High School
at 334-3181, extension 3. And can you believe they did this without inviting me? What the heck? Thanks, Nate.
Thanks, you.
Nate. Have a good day.
And we'll be right back with another segment of Spotlight on Frazee.
Spotlight on Frazee is sponsored by these community-minded businesses and organizations. The City of Frazee and Frazee Event Center, featuring a 5,000 square foot room, a built-in stage, and a full-service bar, perfect for a multitude of events. Call or click to book your event.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Frazee. I'm your host, Hank Ledke, and I'm here with Cheryl Nyans at the Frazee High School cafeteria. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing really good.
And so, we were here this summer, and we had the lunch program that was going on at the elementary school.
Yeah, we had the summer lunch program this year. It went over really well. So we're looking forward to next year doing it again. And
well, I'm glad, that you could get some funding for that.
yeah, it was nice of having be able to feed the kids all summer and see them during the whole year. And
it's fall, and what's happening now?
oh, this week has been homecoming week, so every day the kids have been busy with their homecoming things. We won our game last night, yay, so they got their homecoming game. And this week we celebrated the Great Lakes Apple Crunch. It's there was 1,800,000 and some thousand people all crunched into a locally grown apple yesterday in all the states along the Great Lakes. And so we were part of that 1,800,000 people yesterday joining in on that.
Well, that's quite a deal, and so these are all locally grown apples, too.
Yeah, we had gotten our apples from Ken Hammer, that he has the orchard out there, and we got ours from him. And so then next week we're celebrating the National School Lunch Week. And
what does that entail then?
I kind of try to give the kids some of their favorite meals that week. We're celebrating the fact that they have the hot lunch available for the kids, and it's a nationwide celebration. So.
And that's interesting, and how many kids do you feed here a day, roughly?
Oh, at the elementary, we're right around 450. And up here, it's about 270 to 280. And then we cater for a couple places, so our counts are nice this year. So.
Well, that's interesting, too, And so, and so you kind of change your diet with the season?
Yeah, depending on like fresh fruits and veggies, what's available at that time. And we try to buy as much local product as we can, the local Minnesota grown veggies and fruits. And once winter hits, though, it's kind of hard to get those. But
yeah, we don't have enough deep winter greenhouses yet.
No. There are some items I can still get out of Minneapolis. They grow them in the greenhouses down there. So.
But, now, how many years have you been doing this?
Well, I've been with the school about a little over 20 years. And this job itself, it's 6 years, so.
Yeah, you've been here longer than just about anybody else on the staff.
Oh, I tell the kids I've been working at the school longer than they've been alive, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
and so, like when you're doing this, the local produce, like this fall, it's squash and apples and.
Yeah. And then I'm able to get the local cucumbers and, any fruits and vegetables that we can grow around here. We try to get in and use them.
And I know, there's been a push for more, farm to school for better local food use.
Yeah, actually October is local food to school month, where you're trying to get everyone to get as much local foods in as they can. So we've been trying to do that.
Well, I appreciate you being on the program, Cheryl, and I appreciate you making sure all these kids get fed, because there's nothing worse than a hungry child in school.
Yeah, I enjoy the kids. It's fun dealing with them every day. So.
Well, thanks for being on the program.
Thank you for stopping in.
And we'll be back another time and see Cheryl here later on in the season and see what's happening, probably after the winter months, and see what's happening then. So remember, pet the dog, hug the kids, kiss the wife, and wave at the neighbor. The next person you wave at could be your next best friend. And we'll see you next week on Spotlight on Frazee.